Have you ever used it like consistently?
Gabe?
Yeah.
Not like, what do you mean? I haven't used it.
I mean, like, I warm up with it, like, whenever I'm going to work on full swing, I warm up with it every day.
I haven't used it.
So, because all it is it's a part of tempo, because transition, sequencing to the downswing from back to down is part of tempo. So, you have this where you kind of lift and then yank, right? So all this is doing when you get there is freeze. The beads hit the butt of the club. You don't bring the club through with your hands and arms and chest. You bring it through with your core and your turn and your glutes, right? So if you make sure you're like everything is perfect to set up, because where the ball's positioned, you have it too far forward, your path and face will be more left. Ball's too far back, it'll be more right. So if you make sure everything's where it should be, and then at the top of the swing for me, I tend to get like this, which creates an open face and kind of a steep motion. So I try to make sure it's at least flat, but I gotta feel exaggerated. And then I relax, and then I bring it through. But you have to have discipline not to yank with your arm. So, but if you get it dialed in, and the other thing is when it drops, it's dropping at the same timing every time. So you're gonna have the same transition every time. If you don't use this, then you're guessing, and then you don't know when it's gonna drop, right? So you're basically eliminating variables for why the ball's going offline, because most people get off in their transition, they tilt, they yank, but if you know that you have the same timing and transition that you wanted, and then you have a little bit of time to relax or to get the wrist position you want, and then if your core brings it through, it's going to fall on the same path every time, rather than if you yank, it may yank there, it may yank there. So you can see my path was 0.7, my face was 1.5 degrees open. So my tendency is to have it cupped, right? And I think I'm getting it bowed, but my feel isn't reality. So if I'm in that shot on the range, and I mean, that one felt like I used you gotta pay attention to the feel. Did I yank? You gotta do like post-shot routine to see what you felt. So I felt like I did everything good, just the face was open, so I was probably cupped. So I'm gonna try to feel more bowed. And now the face was 1 degree close, and I went dead straight. But that's the only way you're gonna have consistent path, is if you let your core and glutes bring it down. The beads allow you to have the same timing, and it gives you like a trigger to relax your arms, turn your hips, relax your arms, turn your hips.
That's why I think my wedges are so good, is because like it's a combination of like smooth.
And so like that one I chunked a little bit, so I have a tendency to tilt. So I know instead of turning like and clearing like properly, I kind of did that. But you got to understand your swing. But look at my path and face; it's a perfect ratio.
Yeah.
It was just a little heavy, but it was 2 feet right. 160 versus 180. But what were you saying?
Well, like that's like, when you turn with your core instead of your arms.
Yeah.
Bring it down. Literally, I can feel like I'm not even swinging and just kind of turn through like from the belly button and then my belt buckle,
Yeah, but see how it's just a limited, like, if you do it right, look at that path has been one every time from the inside. But when we yank, we get different path numbers, and then we manipulate face numbers. So this cures like so many different swing issues if you can just have the proper transition and turn down. And then for me, I know I cup it, so usually I hit it right out the gate because that's what's comfortable when I'm getting loose. And then I'll start paying attention to getting it more there because that's going to be more left.
Yeah.
But really, I'm like that. I just feel like I'm like that, and then I'll start to straighten out. So it's like simple thought process. It's not too technical, but you like eliminate variables and you can figure out what's causing the ball to go left or right.
All right.
Not really, actually. My path just got 2 degrees inside out, but the face was half degree left, so it's 15 feet.